Hello. So today I want to cover the topic of bipolar disorder. So what is bipolar disorder? Bipolar disorder means that your feelings tend to be a little bit more elevated. They go up and down. Are they like the typical mood swings that most people experience? No, they're not. So what can cause bipolar disorder? It could be passed down through genetics in your family. There could be a chemical imbalance in your brain, a misfiring, if you will. And sometimes your environment can cause it as well. So how does one know if they have bipolar disorder? If you're feeling depressed, you may go to a doctor, to seek treatment. However, if you're feeling manic or very happy, you wouldn't go to the doctor to receive treatment. So, oftentimes, bipolar disorder is missed or misdiagnosed. For example, I myself have bipolar disorder. But up until I was 34, the doctors were only diagnosing me with depression. They weren't catching the manic side of my mood swings. When I was manic, I felt fantastic, and so I didn't bother going to seek treatment from the doctor. But finally, when I was 34, I received the correct diagnosis of bipolar disorder. What does bipolar disorder feel like exactly? If you feel manic, sometimes you can feel almost like you're high. You feel that you can't be beat. You're absolutely invincible. You might go on a big shopping spree and just blow all of your savings at once. Sometimes you can feel crabby or irritable, like everyone around you is just getting on your every last nerve. Sometimes you may act sexually promiscuous. And a lot of people with bipolar disorder have a lot of problems with authority, and they get in confrontations with the police or with their boss. So those are the 5 symptoms of mania. On the other hand, let's talk about depression. Most people understand depression, or at least know what it feels like. You really don't want to do anything. You might not eat. You could sleep too much or not sleep enough. Sometimes you can put on a lot of weight, and sometimes you can lose a lot of weight. It might be difficult to socialize with other people. If you feel lonely, you might isolate yourself. The idea of getting out of bed to shower and get dressed and get ready, to go outside, interact with other people, it just feels pointless. And sometimes you can even feel suicidal. So, who is able to diagnose bipolar? It's usually going to be a psychiatrist. Sometimes your family physician would be able to diagnose you, but they tend to refer you to a psychiatrist anyway. So how do you treat bipolar disorder? There's 3 options. The first is that you can take medication. The second is that you can participate in talk therapy. And the third is that sometimes just making changes in your everyday life can really help. Small changes, like getting on a sleep schedule, making an eating schedule for yourself, or a schedule to take your medication at the same time every day. And those things can really help. And there is a 4th option, actually, that I think is the most important. And that's going to be support from your family and friends. Your support system, in other words. Your support system is going to be a group of people that you can depend on to help you if you can't complete a task by yourself. It could be your spouse, Your parents and sometimes even your own kids can help you and be in your support system. Your friends or maybe even a trusted boss, someone that you can turn to. Now, you don't want to go out into the world and announce to everyone that you have bipolar disorder and ask for everyone's help, but rather narrow down a few specific people in your support system that you trust. Now, there are two types of bipolar disorder. There's bipolar 1 and, you guessed it, bipolar 2. So if the doctor tells you that you have bipolar and gives you a script and sends you on your way, you might be thinking, well, what am I supposed to do with this? If the script reads that you have bipolar 1, that means that your mood swings are very severe. You're either completely manic or completely depressed. It's very serious. And on the other hand, with bipolar 2, it's a bit more light in a sense. The mood swings aren't so elevated. However, you still need to pay attention to this and take care of it like any other illness. And I'm sorry to say, but there is no cure for bipolar. So for example, I was diagnosed 8 years ago, and I will have to take medication for the rest of my life. And there is a grief process involved with being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Sometimes I'm fine with it. I can accept that I just have to take my medication and move on with my life. But some days, I just feel like I don't want it. I just feel so sick of it. I don't want to have bipolar disorder. I don't want to take my medication or go to therapy. I don't want to depend on all of these people to help me. However, you have to accept it. The most important thing for me, and maybe it's not for you, but it is for me, is going to be acceptance. So, I take my medication and I move on with my life. I have to accept that. Now, should you be gullible and accept everything that anyone tells you? Well, absolutely not. You need to be involved in your own treatment. Ask your doctor questions about your medicine. What is it for? What's the name? What are the side effects? Why am I taking this? For my bipolar disorder, I take 6 different medications, and that is a lot. But I understand them. I know all of their names and their dosages, and I know why I'm taking them. I understand and am involved in my own treatment. It's so important to feel empowered. Doesn't matter how you express yourself. If you're hearing, you're deaf, you use English or ASL, doesn't matter. You have to feel like you have power over your own life. Because at the end of the day, you can be happy. You can accept that this is a part of your life. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to shoot me an email or leave me a comment down below. Thank you.